Folks, welcome back. My name is Timmy's Emporium, third floor basement. You're watching Alpha Investments. Today we're going to share something very special for those of you hardcore fans, collectors, players of the evil thumbs down 46 times. I don't know. You're supposed to whatever. With the world of the internet. Today we're going to go over something very, very special. And that is this very special thing right here that shows the old test print information all the way from New Zealand of 2018 of when they were trying to engineer and build the cold foil cards and design the product. So this is a very special sheet as a thank you from the company. And it's probably one of my most prized flesh and blood actual possessions, ladies and gentlemen. I've had this for a little while now, and I wanted to share with everybody like the decision making and behind the scenes that was made with this. So apparently, late 2018, almost 3 years ago, I guess 3 years ago, goodness gracious, Flesh and Blood Legendary Studios was working with Card Monday to print and engineer these cold foil cards. And there were many different variants, and they had to decide what new technology and what new process they wanted to use to manufacture these new cold foil. Remember, this is pre-Wizards of the Coast etched cards, and this is a very long time ago. So let's take a look, shall we? So we first noticed a couple things. Let's kind of look at. So you'll see we've got different versions here. We've got one where the entire box is highlighted. You've got ones where literally it's just the corners are highlighted. You've got one where the corners are highlighted and actually just the gloves of the gauntlet. You've got the gloves of the gauntlet highlighted, but you also have the upper text box and the actual text box, or I guess just the title, and the actual text box with the inside of the text boxes, but not the outer circles. That's fascinating. Over here in the middle, they went with there's a test version of all silver completely, and I thought that was quite interesting. So almost like the whole card is almost completely flashy, and I'm glad they didn't go with that. And because that almost reminds me of like non-playable, like silver bordered uncards in Magic the Gathering. I'm glad they didn't choose that. So this one has, you can see the entire middle of the card, they literally left the gauntlet and everything normal, and they highlighted the background in the framework. So that's fascinating. Over here, they left, if you see the actual card, sorry, I'm trying to tilt it so you guys can see the actual highlighted area. It's very interesting. Over here, the whole card is completely normal, and they literally just highlighted the background. So when we get to the top here, the whole card is normal, but instead of the background highlighted, you just highlight the actual highlight of the art, the gloves. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, the final product that the company Legendary Studios chose to go with from Card Monday was the framework highlighting, where you kind of borderline it, and of course the highlighting on the artwork. So it leaves the text box and the title of the card and the type of equipment and the detailed actual data inside of the highlights unobstructed, as they say. That was always certain complaints and issues I had with certain, what's a good example? Like, let's see here. Yu-Gi-Oh! No, Yu-Gi-Oh's not too bad. I'd say Bandai, Future Card Buddy Fight, certain Weiss cards. They went so much flashiness like this, it actually takes away from the text. Even if you look at the card straight on, you can see the substantial difference. So I thought that was a really fascinating process of behind the scenes, how they were looking for a new technology and a new direction to go for a type of foiling process. And the choices that Card Monday had presented with Legendary Studios, I thought that was absolutely incredibly fascinating. And I'm always kind of curious, I wonder what made the company choose this final one. Because if I had to admit, I'm really curious now, for those of you still watching, in the comments below, like, which one would you have chosen? Like, if these were numbered 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which of 6? Like, I'm curious in the public, which one do you all find to be the most attractive? Would you have chosen number 2, the same as Flesh and Blood? Or would you have chosen super flashy number 4? Would you have chosen, I have to admit, the only other one I actually kind of consider interesting that I may have, I did like the idea of a lot of the silver, but it reminds me almost of like Pokemon holograms, where the surface and it would be very difficult to get minty perfect versions of that. That would be kind of a difficult thing. I have to admit, looking them all over and spending a lot of time, when I looked at this originally, I was like, oh man, how cool would it have been if we had the title of the card, the text box, and some of the details also highlighted? How neat would that have ended up? And then as time went on, after I had this for a while now, and I was looking, I was like, you know what? I actually think that is the best one. I think the choice they made at first, because I really liked some of these other options, and I was like, oh my god, why did they not choose some of these other manufacturing options for cold foil? I thought that was a really interesting thing. And it's funny though, the more I handled it, and the more I spent a lot of hours looking at this thing, I have to admit, the highlighted details gives it more of a mechanical, detailed look. In highlighting the artwork, while not obstructing the difficulty and clarity of the text, I think it was the right decision. Which is interesting. I mean, I can't imagine the amount of time that was spent with that, but I thought that was a really fascinating thing, ladies and gentlemen. So I wanted to share this type of process today, and then I want to talk about this for a couple minutes, then we'll kind of let everybody move on with their day. And again, Legendary Studios, James, make this into a playmat. Even if it's an oversized playmat, make this world map into a playmat, James. I'm telling you, if you haven't already, and again, you may already have it, this needs to be an actual produced playmat. I don't care if it's limited number and you guys all at the company sign it or put one of 1,000 print run. You got it. This thing is flipping. I've been saying that. I'm going to keep poking at that. This needs to be a flipping playmat, man. If you want to have the squares for playability for your hero, your weapons, and your gear and the actual deck, discard, and all that, that's up to you guys, but you need to make this into a playmat. I'd recommend probably no squares on it, but I know a lot of the newer players really enjoy that. All right, anyways, so I really wanted to share this kind of a historical kind of piece of history. As time goes forward, I'll kind of reveal some more pieces of information as we go forward into the future here. But before we end the video today, after sharing this amazing thing, I'm really curious what everyone's opinion is and which one you all like best. Remember, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to comment, discuss it below. I want to talk about what's coming up here. Remember, folks, we're going into March of 2021. Today is literally, we're about, I don't know what today's exact date is. I said we're about the 3rd, 4th week into February. By the time you watch this video, again, I apologize, it's usually, well, between a 1 to 3 week delay many times. I think, you know, I think this Blitz deck thing and Monarch and these sets, and when this stuff is fully revealed and hits the market, man, I tell you what, I have spent some serious behind-the-scene time, everybody, and I've been going to comment sections of all my Flesh and Blood videos. I've been going to the other channels. Anyone who's been, Rudy's pumping and dumping, shilling for this, it's a bubble, it's a scam, it's a bunch of investors buying and selling to each other. I've been spending a good amount of time documenting everything in the last probably about 60 days in saving digital files, digital images of the comments, digital information of everybody else, and the amount of negativity and bashing of the game because of the extraordinarily just massive growth in such a short period of time. Because I want to use it for future flashbacks, similar to what I've been doing with Magic lately of my older videos of 2016, 2017. Because it's going to serve as a very important, it's not really an I told you so, but you can view it that way if that's your perspective. But it's going to be a very important case study to learn and understand how a game came out of nowhere that literally, even when I started and did the first launch with this thing at the beginning of 2019, was it really that long ago? 2019. Golly, 2 years, oh my goodness. And how it started so small, and then in literally like a 90-day window from October, November, and December, the entire landscape can be changed forever. And, I'm spending a lot because I want to make sure I'm able to save and locate a lot of this information on the internet and how the public perceives it so that we can all learn moving into the future regarding Flesh and Blood and also any other future possible card games that will eventually come along from other companies or whatever ends up happening. I think it's going to be an incredibly important thing. And that's why I keep using the term case study, like you're in a financial school or business school going for some sort of MBA, fancy letters after your name with the Batman symbol. It's important to learn and understand how we got here and why the market got it wrong. We talk about that a lot in the world of Magic right now, even in Pokemon. How and why did the market reprice things so wrong in the past, even a year ago? What happened? So, hope you all learned something. Have a beautiful day. Seriously.